Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansillon. I wanted to come and say hello, talking about transcendental psychology, spiritual understanding, ideas. I'm here to share those ideas, to anchor them. And today I thought I return to the four great principles that rules life as we understand life. Or what we need to do is to understand natural law, to understand how life functions, who we are. Those laws are in the Oracle of Delphi. So know thyself. It's not about knowing the ego. It's about knowing the divinity within ourselves that we are seeking. And so, understanding the natural law we are seeking supremacy, which is truth, beauty, and goodness. And to discover truth is science, is the way by means by which to understand the truth. And those natural laws. There are four great principles that transcends what is known presently as science, and for science, humanity does not know, is not yet been informed of those four great principles. So those principles is not something you need to do great calculations through mathematics, and you need to go for 10 years in school in order to understand that science. Anybody can understand it. They're very simple principles. It's just a matter of finding ways to adapt that. For all comes from love, and we want to become love and to be loving in all circumstances, and that is what is being taught. The first principle of this great law of one is the principle of inclusion. We are all included within life. For we were taught in school that life is happening outside of ourselves, and we have to adapt to the outside circumstances. I'm not saying that we do not want to blend in, fit into the models of society in time and space that we live in. We want to be respectful as much as possible of all the use, custom, and laws of our time and space. But it's this principle of inclusion tells us that we can never exist outside of life. We can never exist outside of God. We can never exist outside of ourselves. If we have all those problems, it's because we are trying to exist outside of ourselves. And this law also tells us that we are all, we always have existed. Our existence is eternal. We've always existed in one form or another. We've always been included within this process of life. And there's a great mystery where do we come from before we were born, and where are we going after we die? For in essence, we close the circle. For we were an eternal soul before we came into this incarnation, and then we came into here. So we just like wandering into this world, and then at the end of this program, we return to the original light that with more experiences and lessons and great experiences and memories that we bring with us. And so this is first principle is inclusion. The second great principle is the law of one. It is all is one and one is all. For life is not separated. We live in a world of duality where everything is separated. Those who have not, the high, the low, the separation. Everything that separates is actually working against this principle of ascension and understanding you are the one. You cannot be anything else than the one, for everything is one and everybody is one. They just forgotten they are one. But we are made of the whole universe, and the universe is made of you. And so recreating this understanding that everything we do to anyone, we will do to everybody else, for if life is one. That's the principle. The second principle is that one is all and all is one. The third principle we want to talk about today is the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction. Those laws are completely reliable. They will never change. It's just as reliable as gravity. We don't have to think about it for it to be real. It's just a fact. It's just eventually we can transcend and move to a higher level, discover higher laws. But there is always higher laws. But for those principles, as what we need as a dualistic civilization in order to return to the unity of oneness and the feeling of well-being. And this third principle of karma. Karma, attraction, cause and effect means that everything we produce, we will have to harvest. Everything we give, we'll have to receive. So it's about understanding that to remove all the cause that we have created unconsciously that are still affecting us. And so in order to recreate a new cause that starts from love and that will return to us as love, to move into a state of grace and ease. The fourth principle is the principle of eternal change. Everything is in eternal change, eternal transformation that can never change, except source, except God, except the source of all that is changeless. It can never change, for it is already infinite. For it was revealed that So at the beginning, God on Paradise. Eventually, they activated the mechanism of time and space and the galaxy and the cosmos and the universe. It's something beyond anything we can conceive. But that no change has been recorded in God from this action. Nothing was lost or gained. God always will remain one and always will be. So those four principles, another principle that is important, for those are the four major essential principles, is the understanding of the law of grace, the law of forgiveness. For if this is very important, what the Christ came to teach, unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. If we have done certain things, then first we want to forgive ourselves for anything we've done to ourselves or to others, consciously or unconsciously. We need to forgive in order to be free. And we need to forgive others for anything that was done to us, consciously or unconsciously. From there we are free. For life, all the suffering of life comes from attachment. If you look back at don't really want to look back at suffering if you enjoy, but if from an analytical standpoint, if we analyze the cause of our suffering, we will see that it comes from attachment to outcome, attachment to thing, attachment to circumstances, attachment to suffering, to pain, to frustration. So we want to let go of all that, to forgive all that, and move into we can have this understanding that life is being recreated all the time, and so let us start fresh every moment. I'm going to pull a few cards, but I wanted to bring those ideas. For those are already they've already been discussed, but we eventually, the whole of humanity will have to come to this understanding of those great principles of life. We have an escapee, tic-tac. It's the card of time. It's timelessness. For once we move into timelessness, we can we escape time. Time is really what separates things. It's the separator. For time does not change, but everything changes and everyone changes through time. So eventually, time was an invention, a gift from paradise. Time and space are complementary gift. It provides us a field of experience. I'm just here to share my thoughts and ideas. There is no, just use whatever resonates with you. It's really nice oracle, easier than the one in the French. So the past is cutting woods. Cutting woods mean taking care of physical, practical matter, to be attentive to those practical things within our life, and be humble and take care of all the. There is a lot of details. I'm going to see what the. I don't really. To be anchored in daily experience, humility. So we've been through that. We were forced to address those little things. Right now, where we are is the treasure island. It is the present. For the past, present, and future are connected. For the present is where the past and the future meet, and it is within the presence that where all the powers of the universe lies. Eventually, we'll escape time and we'll move into the present, where we'll be able to. The eternal moment of now, the now of the one, rather than just because the present is always moving. So it's a settled thing. This treasure island is the law of attraction to realize dreams, the result of positive thoughts that are manifesting. Abundance as if coming from nowhere. Financial gains and sharing of luck. So it's all good. There is all kinds of things. The more it is good to continue to share what we have, and to be open and to follow the heart, follow them. And in the near future, we have the 7, which is into the sea. Those are union cards. So they'll be very intuitive, very about synchronicity. And it's about being in the current, being in the flow, returning to source. Recognize that each piece are fitting within each other, the model of natural events. So there is this great flow. Ask that life unfold with grace and ease. Every day we want our day to unfold with grace and ease in order to avoid the chaos that can come from the lack of grace and ease. What we're working on right now is the message in the bottle. The message in the bottle, which is here it is. It says communication, a sign. It is a foreseeing, an oracle, spontaneous oracle that has been expressed by someone indicating the way towards your highest good. So it's about listening to life and paying attention more to the signs and to follow the signs, and the outcome of that work is Fistful Hearts. Here we have the owls, the symbol of wisdom. And so it's Fistful Hearts will be the outcome, which is faithfulness, loyalty, devotion. It's about being to have a devotion, to be faithful, to be true, to be not to. So it is. There is all kinds of new energies that I feel. A good thing to do every morning is something I do every morning. Is the first thing I do is ask God, as Spirit, as my higher self, how can I serve today, and then see what the answer is. And usually, when you establish a trust in communication, you become able to communicate and receive the information from the Spirit. After that, it's still a process to learn to adapt it and follow it fully. I wanted to discuss some ideas. Is that most human beings believe that they are only planet where there is life in the universe, but it's a massive ego trip to believe that God could, for those who do not believe in God, could believe that we are a cosmic accident and that life was just a passing thing. But it's very depressing to believe that. So to understand that there is a creator that created this magnificent universe, which is our true self, and that life is everywhere in the universe. God has created life everywhere. For to believe that we are the only one in the universe is really an egocentric. Is very egocentrical. For extraterrestrials are not advanced extraterrestrials are not alien. They are not separated from anything. We are the aliens. We are the ones that separate everything, separate from each other, separated religion, the man, woman, the race, the have and have-nots. And so we have to reconnect to understand that very soon we're going to have this ability to reconnect to those extraterrestrials, but they are not extraterrestrials. They're not separated from us. They are family relationship, because we've all been incarnating in those higher planes before we even came down here, and so we all have some profound family connection, family ties to various groups and special. For they are just loving. They've transcended the need to. They have no more need, and so because they have no more needs, they have the need to serve and assist the rest, because they know of their unity and they see this part of themselves that is us, that's still living in separation, and they want to bring us back to this liberation. I was speaking about the government first. Even the proof of extraterrestrials is everywhere. When you look, you can make some research through the arts in the Renaissance. They see some spaceships, and in art there is many artifacts. There is many in architecture and past civilization. The proof of extraterrestrials implication with the human, this planet is everywhere. But the reconnection will happen, and we're getting closer to that. There's going to be I was talking about the divine government that will be installed around the world in the coming years. For it is not about the ego of persons that have worked in spirituality that will become leaders. It is the I am presence. It's those who have been able to remove their ego to allow the wisdom of God to express themselves through them. And so this, for the I am presence, is far more intelligent than we are. It is one I am presence, many spirits, but one presence. And it is all working in full knowledge, full wisdom. And so we want to be attuned to that. Ask for the I am presence is a silent observer until we implicate it within our life. For it, the I am presence will always bring positive thoughts, positive idea, positive inspiration into our mind, but it will never force or impose its will. For the free will was given to human beings to select, to choose whatever they choose to. That they will until they come to the realization that the highest wisdom comes from following that inner voice, that the voice of the heart. For in 2020, many people will be awakening to higher spiritual connection, and the new guides will be coming into their life. New guides for me. For 30 years I've been in my spiritual ascension path. So my guides, or I still need the same guides. They're all perfectly adapted to my whole career on this earth. But there is always new personalities, new higher, more complementary. For sometimes if we garden, we have special guides that comes to assist in gardening. If we're doing whatever we're doing, we have those spirits that come to assist when we choose to become co-creator with the universe. We want to fall in love with love. For love is the essence. Love is all. Everything is about love, to learn to love. And when there is love, there is no separation. Love heals, love includes, love is the most powerful force in the universe, and this connection to love, we are all of true love, unconditional love, divine love. We all get this connection, but it's not part of our. It is when we sleep. When we sleep, we just don't just regenerate the body. Our consciousness returns to the higher planes and reconnect to source and spirit and soul. And so, because if we spend more than 3 days without sleeping, nothing function. We need this connection to love. The thing is, we cannot. We have this double life on the higher planes, or on these eternal planes of soul. But it's, and we do, every time we sleep, we go out there and we do a lot of work, and sometimes it is polarized, sometimes it is joyful, but there is this other plane of reality that we go when we sleep. We liberate ourselves from the critical mind and the momentum of flow within this reality. And so it is important to get good sleep, good rest. Also wanted to say that fear never comes from the heart. Fear is an illusion that appears real. So it is not to judge ourselves when there is fear, it's to realize that it is we have those energy activated within ourselves, and we want to deactivate them. So it's about breathing deeply. We'll allow the fear to dissipate, and so for the fear, that fear always comes from the mind, and then it is planted within the heart. So we want to remove the fear from the heart, because fear will prevent us from loving ourselves, loving our life, loving the world. And I was also asked in the French comments to speak briefly about the twin soul. For everybody's got different position. I can only comment in relationship to my own experience and knowledge in that relationship. But originally the soul was whole. It wasn't masculine or feminine. Then we decide to incarnate on the planet of duality. So the soul has been split up. And there is one in the buffet of Plato. The philosophers explain that. Small books, but very powerful. Doesn't explain it all, but it's the idea is that there is a ba and the ka, or as the Egyptians call it. So there is a separation when and our soul twin is always ascended. It has to stay up there, and then it's like eventually when we align all the energy with our soul inside of us, there is this communication, this communion of the astral body and the soul, and so, but and so So the stronger our connection to our soul here on this manifested plane, the easier it will be for our twin flame to come down and unified with us. Yet we have karmic agreement, not karmic, but we have soul agreement with certain other soul that are deep and powerful. For we can meet two men or two women, same, both beautiful, but there is one that will ignite the passion and the fire, and the other one that leaves us indifferent. So it's not about physical, it's about this inner connection. The deeper something feels, the more the connection there is in the heart. And so, but the idea is that we cannot go shopping for love, for true love. For see people on the internet, they see a list. This person fills in there is a condition of what I'm looking for. So it's like if you go shopping for love, you're gonna get a bargain. It doesn't mean that you cannot meet a soulmate through that process, because there is this karmic coming together. But it's something, as far as I know, it's something very deep. When you want a true love, true soul connection, you want to align your energy inside, and then the spirit will also align the energy in the other person. And when the time comes, there is this magical encountering of energy. And so, but I've met in the past somebody which had a lot of heart and soul connection. The relationship didn't work because I wasn't ready. And so, but because when you're not ready, when you meet a soul mate or soul twin, or not twins, but they have that profound love connection, this person will reflect all of your imperfection. It's like a catalyst to realize those things that you need to work on. So first work on yourself, and then once you're free and clear, then this other person will come as something, a magical relationship, a gift from heaven, and a gift to each other. For I know part of my mission on earth will be to have a child. And I saw the Spirit send me a vision the other day. I saw myself holding a tiny little baby. So Spirit also said, I'm going to meet this person this year, so it's going to be quite wonderful. But they've been waiting for a long time. And so it is we all very individual, but we've all have made agreement that at some point we may come into this realization. For some people meet the love of their life very early in life, and sometimes it comes later. Yet at some point in spirituality, we want to let go of all superficial relationship in order to give all full attention to our own self. So we have to be patient and to continue to work on that. And then when we're ready, the universe will provide that complement. And so I thought I come and say hello to talk about certain of those things. I'm going to probably talk about this full moon in Cancer in my next video that is coming. There is an eclipse, so it's very powerful transformation. This moon is going to be conjuncting with the north node of the moon, which is the future. And then there is Pluto, Saturn, and the Sun that will be conjuncting with the south node, the past, that will be shaking up and transforming. Then Jupiter is going to come and Mars is going to come into the picture. So this Capricorn is very business-like, business-oriented. So it's all about structure and transformation of the structures of our life. And so all of that is coming up. I'm going to finish with a song and pull one more card. Behind me, the paintings this is called Blue Star Friends and Family. It's like the stars are real being. We'll come to realize like the planet is a real person. That is really the essential problem that we have with climates and all those things is the lack of understanding and connection that the earth has a physical body, but there is also a archangelic personality that is at the center of it. For we should stop living in the house, living on the earth. We should live in the universe. Understanding the core of the earth is really the center of our universe. It is really what connects us to this physical reality, and then we have this the more celestial higher sphere also that are blended within that, but to expand our consciousness beyond the physical. We're working towards that. And the stars are teachers of the light, the teachers of light, the provider, they provide the light, the life force. So they are great beings, and we'll come to realize that even our solar system, within the sun, there are countless beings. There are very advanced civilizations that live within the sun, the 6th and 7th dimension. For I was invited there many years ago. I was quite amazed by this vision and understanding of this connection to solar beings. And they will come down to the highest state in order to meet us down in the 5th dimensions once we are ready. And there are much life also in the solar system that we do not know yet. So it's about being open to amaze ourselves with all those new discoveries that we'll make. Of course, not everybody will be open and ready to discover that. For still the ego will still be continue to work their program, but we do want to assist them for those who are ready. We do not want to force anything. We just want to open a door so that we can show the door, but we cannot walk through the door for someone else. We can only assist them or show them the door. And this painting is from Edouard Manet. It's a study. It's called the Déjeuner sur l'herbe, the luncheon on the grass, and it's at the time it's from a great big painting that's in the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. And at the time it was a very scandalous painting that it was refused in the salon from Edouard Manet, and it was because two men dressed up and two naked women. So it was at the time it was shocking. Here in this painting, the face of the woman is become centerpiece. Everybody's looking at her, and there is it is just a study, but I kind of like it. So I will make more comments on historical painting. I enjoy doing that. I'm going to pull one more card and sing a song. But it went through my head, through my mind, so I thought I sing it. It goes like this. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off you. You'd be like heaven to touch. Oh, I wanna hold you so much. As long as love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm my lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby. Don't bring me down, I pray, oh pretty baby. Now that I found you, stay and let me love you. Baby, let me love you. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off you. You'd be like heaven to touch. Oh, I wanna hold you so much. As long as love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm my lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray, oh pretty baby. Now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. Well, a great song about love, and love change is transformational, and so to accept the gift of love and to be ready to prepare ourselves for this, for coming to fall in love again. Once again, every life is always renewed, but what we seek is to find true love that is that will last. That's something that's deep from the soul, and that where there is that magnify. For it is not, we do not want to be codependent on somebody, we do not be dependent on the love of somebody else, but once we are whole and we find another person that is whole and we come together, this love becomes far more than what we were when. So it's life was created, everything created from love, and everything, love, even sexuality, was the base root for the dispersion into infinity, and it is the cause, the root cause of all that we know. For everything we all come from this principle. In the Quran, Allah says man was created from a drop of sperm. So it's just symbolic, but everything is it was Freud said everything is sex. So the card of the day is the 10 of Michael. For love and sex is different things, but they are intimately tied up and connected. But yet we do want to connect to divine love that is unconditional, and so that is not limited to love, to romantic love. We want to expand love into all aspects of our life. The card of is actually an ending. It's the 10 of Michael. And she said, it is over, you are finally free. Happiness awaits. Leave the past behind you. So all is new, all is transforming, all is changing. I thank you very much for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.